Hello dear viewers and welcome to T-World. Kindly hit the subscribe button and we will be on our way. In today's news, they overturned a destroying bold traditional egalitarian pioneer who faltered starting with one self-made embarrassment then onto the next and who was blamed for glaringly violating the law, manhandling power and building his political vocation on a structure of untruths, following quite a while of gripping frantically to office. Boris Johnson at long last surrendered as the decision Conservative Party's chief Thursday after a disobedience by his own legislators. The party will choose another pioneer, who, as indicated by the traditions of Britain's parliamentary framework, will become top state leader, America's Republican Party. Be that as it may, never turned on Donald Trump similarly in spite of his definitely more ruinous offenses against a vote-based system than Johnson's. It isn't so much that Republicans didn't get the opportunity. The ex-president was impugned 2 times. However, most GOP legislators decided not to cast a ballot to convict him of egregious displays of negligence last year, a stage that might have banished him from future government office. The differentiating destinies of Johnson and Trump boil down to individual variables: electing legislative issues and the mannerisms in the political frameworks of 2 countries. Johnson was for some time seen as a vote-winning machine. He was the supernatural figure who won a mandate in 2016 that prompted Britain's exit from the European Union. Then, at that point, in an overall political race in late 2019, he conveyed an uncommon triumph for the Conservatives, catching postmodern common heartlands in England and Wales that had for quite some time been the left-wing Labour Party's power base. However, Johnson was the creator of his own end. His allure cracked over disclosures that he went to gatherings in 10 Downing Street subsequent to requesting his country into COVID-19 lockdowns. That is the reason the Conservatives, who have a long record of mutinying against pioneers seen as a constituent obligation, at last jumped. A comparable destiny happened to the party's best present-day pioneer, Margaret Thatcher. In 1990, and her replacement, John Major, proceeded to win an overall political race. Johnson's organization of the Brexit stunner after a mission thrashing the European Foundation and prompting a common revolt was everything considered to be an early admonition indication of Trump's much really shocking triumph, when he won the administration on a comparative tide of populism a couple of months after the fact. Trump and Johnson have for some time been viewed as practically twins, though with a few differences and not in light of areas of strength for them of exploitation and refusal to get a sense of ownership with their offenses on the exit from office. Both have tempestuous, heartfelt narratives. Both rose to turn on the power of untamed characters and have far-off associates with reality. Both frequently seem to focus on their own objectives and hankering to fulfill huge political self-images over the public interest. Also, both attempted to stick to office, Trump subsequent to losing a political decision and Johnson as his party abandoned him long after it was clear they were on the exit plan. In any case, individual examinations among Johnson and the other brilliant-haired rule-breaker on this side of the Atlantic have by and large been exaggerated, regardless of whether both weaponized hatred against elites to win power, regardless of his phenomenal outcome in prevailing upon regular electors, much as Trump did with Rust Belt common Democrats. Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson is not really rebellious, incredibly very much read and a capable essayist. Johnson got through Britain's pipeline to drive from select non-public school Eton and Balliol College at Oxford University. It's impossible Johnson would have endured a long period of scratches were it not for the class concession implanted in British public life and the tendency towards self-absorption his childhood imparted in him. Trump, conversely, has never moved in high society or felt agreeable in the club the manner in which Johnson has. The way into his security with electors who felt themselves avoided with regards to the American dream was that he comprehended what it was to be rejected by elites for his situation by Manhattan old cash that saw him as foul. Yet, both Trump and the man he once called England Trump have demonstrated the way that a country's political framework can break down when their statement of faith of government by disorder picks up wild speed. Nobody could believably contend that Britain confronting high expansion, the outcome of the COVID-19 pandemic and rising modern turmoil, has been administered in any feeling of the term lately. Johnson's own dramatizations overpowered everything. What's more, he's shown individual scorn for law and order. That equivalent feeling of a country going wild was felt in the U.S. during Trump's tumultuous administration during the pandemic in summer 2020 and as he attempted to take power in late 2020 and mid-2021 and set off the U.S. Capitol uprising. The justification for why Trump made do and Johnson didn't lies in the unprecedented force of the ex-president over typical Republican citizens, and the way that an official up-and-comer's most memorable occupation is to secure and help from essential electors. Johnson lost a lot of his party, while Trump has not figured out how to direct the midterm political decision essential season as intently as he would like. The ex-president is yet to encounter a comparable revolt most GOP legislators comprehend they should really uphold. Empower and protect Trump on the off chance that they need a future political profession due to his attractive hold over the Republican base. Indeed, even now, as unnerving subtleties rise out of a House Select Board of Trustees examination concerning Trump's overthrow endeavor in 2021, the ex-president stays the number one for the 2024 Republican designation, in Republican governmental issues at any rate. Trump is as yet a discretionary resource. English Tory MPs, be that as it may, currently stressed over Johnson's fragmented standing among an overall political race crowd dreaded they would lose their seats assuming they kept him in power. Johnson attempted to demand Thursday he had an order from the British public and censured the crowd of conservative legislators who at long last finished his profession. However, his grumbling didn't consider up in light of the fact that state leaders are responsible to Parliament and are not straightforwardly chosen by citizens in the manner that presidents are like clockwork, regardless of the ex-president's getting through strength in his party. Certainly feasible, Johnson's destruction is once more an early admonition framework for Trump. Johnson just endured this long on the grounds that his party considered him to be its most obvious opportunity with regards to winning power. In any case, when his mystery ingredient with electors evaporated, he was defenseless. There are numerous Republican citizens who won't ever abandon the ex-president. However, Trump's greatest test proceeding might lie in the likelihood that even a few Republicans who decided in favor of him in the past come to accept that another America First-style up-and-comer with additional discipline and less private might be bound to beat the Democrats in 2024. This conceivable situation is one justification for why the political load of Ron DeSantis has been rising quick. However, it's hazy whether the Florida lead representative would gamble with taking on Trump in an essential, watching the destruction of a reality-tested libertarian rule breaker with whom he has long recognized can't have been a wonderful encounter for the previous president, as we have seen at Westminster. At the point when the group moves, it moves. Also, my companions, in legislative issues, nobody is somewhat essential, Johnson said on Thursday as he declared his abdication as conservative pioneer. In the event that he is to win back the White House in 2024, Trump should oppose a comparable political power.
If you made it to the end of the video, kindly hit the subscribe button and leave a comment, it helps the channel.